Hello students, how are you? I believe all of you are healthy and happy. In front of you, on your screen, you can see a beautiful scenery. The lofty mountains, snow all over, such a wonderful sky. Doesn't it look unreal, unearthly? But it is not. Our planet is filled with such wonders. One such wonder is still untouched by the human industrialization, modernization, a continent which is far away from the usual world that we live in, different from all the other continents. Do you know what I'm talking about? Which place it is? Well, I believe you guessed it right. It is Antarctica. You might have read about it in your previous classes, and it is the end of the earth. That is why the chapter is titled as Journey to the End of the Earth. The chapter is written by Tishani Doshi, a South Indian author, poet, blogger. The chapter I have prepared in various capsules. The first capsule or the part will deal about the author as well as the introduction. But before that, let us learn how and why the chapter is being included in the NCERT book. What are the objectives? It is included in the book to make the students understand and respect our planet. You remember the ailing planet in class 11th? How the chapter was crucial enough to teach you that how the planet is, why the planet is in ruins, who has done it, what is responsible. In the same manner, this chapter is going to teach you through Antarctica that how the past of the planet was, how the present is going on, and how it can affect the future in a good or a bad manner depending on the behavior of the human beings. And the chapter is included to sensitize and make the students realize the threat of global warming and that it is very real. It is not unknown to anyone. Global warming is very real and it is affecting the entire planet badly. Not only us but the other species more importantly. And to create an awareness about climate change, which is a burning topic in the world today. The chapter also talks about the population explosion, its effects on the environment. This is also, you have read it. You read it earlier in class 11th and in previous classes also, that how population explosion is one of the strongest factors behind the deterioration and depletion of the not only other species but the major forms, landforms, environment, surroundings on this planet. It is written by Tishani Doshi. She belongs to Chennai. She is an author, a fiction writer, a poetry writer. She is also a blogger, and this chapter she has written wonderfully. Her contribution cannot be overlooked. Such a beautiful landscape in front of you. Antarctica it is, far away from our buildings and factories and vehicles. Everything is very different here. Antarctica's expansive white landscape and uninterrupted blue horizon give scientists a perfect platform to understand the planet's past, present and future. 650 million years ago, a giant amalgamated southern supercontinent Gondwana existed, roughly around the present-day Antarctica. So, 650 million years ago, this particular supercontinent existed. And the continents as we know them today, separated and far away from each other, that was not the case. It was a huge supercontinent and it thrived for around 500 million years. It had the variety of flora and fauna prospering on its grounds perfectly. But then it started crumbling. The separation started. It took a lot of time, and that is how the world as we see it today became like this. The separation happened, and because of that, the Indian plate, the Indian subcontinental plate, it was pushed northwards. South America joined the North America and opened the Drake Passage, and you can see Australia also moving on the right hand side. So supercontinent Gondwana, it started crumbling, and the world, its complete picture, image changed over the years, and today we see it like this. That is why If we need to learn about the past of the planet, Antarctica is the place, because the remains of that time, the time of Gondwana, still exist there, and they are untouched and they are unaffected by the world around it. That is why the scientists believe that to learn about the past of the planet, this is a perfect place. Why? Because it has those Cordilleran folds and pre-Cambrian granite shields, which prove to be good sources to learn more about the past and how the world has changed over the years. And here in the picture you can see the Drake Passage between South America and Antarctica, because of which Antarctica remains a place which is cold and frigid, filled with ice and snow only. The 24-hour austral summer light, ubiquitous silence, occasional avalanche and carving ice shelves that purifies the place. So Antarctica is not our usual continent, it is not our usual city or place or landform, no. It is very different from the usual places that we see in our everyday lives. It has a completely different kind of geographical background, history and physical features. There are regular avalanches taking place and the ice shelves breaking and forming with the changing seasons. Second part is about the human impact. The chapter 2 is divided into various parts when you will go through the text in the book. The second part is about human impact, that how humans have changed not only the planet but also this faraway land, Antarctica. How humans have started forming the cities, the concrete forest as we know it, and the mega cities, and how these cities are actually affecting not only the continent in which they live but also the continent which is completely untouched by humans. So indirectly also we are affecting the life forms present in Antarctica. The burning of fossil fuels as well as many other activities that we do on daily basis affect these glaciers. These are far away from us. We might not have ever seen them, ever gone to those places. But what we are doing here in our own countries and cities, they affect the glaciers present far away from us. They are retreating, they are melting, and that is why the sea level is increasing. In the book also, this part is there, the last paragraph on page number 20. Climate change is one of the most hotly contested environmental debates of our time. Will the West Antarctic ice sheet melt entirely? Will the Gulf Stream ocean current be disrupted? Will it be the end of the world as we know it? Maybe, maybe not. Either way, Antarctica is a crucial element in this debate. Not just because it's the only place in the world which has never sustained a human population and therefore remains relatively pristine in this respect, but more importantly, because it holds in its ice cores 500,000-year-old carbon records trapped in its layers of ice. If we want to study and examine the Earth's past, present and future, Antarctica is the place. That is why if we need to learn what happened in the past, how the world has changed over the years, Antarctica is the place. If you need to know how global warming, climate change is affecting the planet, go to Antarctica and see for yourself that how the small life forms are becoming extinct and how all these can affect the future of the planet. Moving forward. The endangered phytoplankton could upset Antarctic food chain. So what happens? The tiniest of the beings get affected fastest. So if we are creating pollution here, burning fossil fuel here in North America, South America, Asia, Australia, in all these continents, what gets affected? See, we are huge species. We are big enough. We won't get affected so easily. Slight rise in temperature doesn't kill us, but they kill the smaller species, the microorganisms like phytoplanktons. they get affected. Their entire species become extinct. And that affects the food chain in Antarctica. And when the food chain is affected somewhere, the entire ecosystem suffers because of that. Antarctica, because of a simple ecosystem and lack of biodiversity, is the perfect place to study how little changes in the environment can have big repercussions. Repercussions are reactions. Take the microscopic phytoplanktons, those grasses of the sea that nourish and sustain the entire Southern Ocean's food chain. These single-celled plants use the sun's energy to assimilate carbon and synthesize organic compounds in that wondrous and most important of process called photosynthesis. So even if phytoplanktons are microorganisms, they still go for something like photosynthesis. Scientists warn that the further depletion in the ozone layer will affect the activities of phytoplankton, which in turn will affect the lives of all the marine animals and birds of the region and the global carbon cycle. In the parable of the phytoplankton, parable is a didactic story, a moral story. There is a great metaphor for existence. Take care of the small things and the big things will fall into place. So as a human being, the most wise, intelligent species living on the planet, it is our responsibility to take care of the phytoplanktons. If we can take care of the phytoplanktons, we can take care of the food chain, the marine life in Antarctica. If we can do that, we can take care of the entire carbon cycle globally, and we can take care of the entire web of the food chain everywhere, and that is how we can change and take care of the environment, the planet itself. It only needs to plant a single sapling to bring a change. Tree plantation is not about planting thousands of trees, no. It is about planting that one sapling and taking care of it. You need to do your bit, a small bit. Big things will fall into place. Switch off the light when not in use. Close the tap when not in use. Plant the sapling, take care of it. This is what you can do as a single human being. You cannot bring something big like climate. You cannot bring something big like stopping global warming and stopping climate change. All you can do is do your bit. Save the phytoplanktons. Everything else will fall into place. The third part is about Students on Ice program conducted by Mr. Geoff Green. Pristine Antarctica, untouched by human population, to such a beautiful place, unseen by people, unknown to many. Students on Ice program was conducted and it was created and it has been taking place for many years now. Study of carbon records in ice sheets in Antarctica to study Earth's present, past and future. That is why Mr. Geoff Green included students in his program. As you can see in the picture, Mr. Geoff Green is here in the red jacket and the group photograph is also there, and in the photograph above the group photograph you can see that how the youngsters are enjoying the life in Antarctica. It's so different. In your book, it is clearly mentioned that why Students on Ice program was initiated and why students are included in this particular program.